A quote from Joe Rogan: Twitter is radioactive. And you're about to learn why and how. I'm Coach Colin, coolest high-performance coach in the world, and if you want the absolute best insights to the podcast you love, you've come to the right place. We're at episode 1920 with Dave Portnoy. Listen to this clip talking about social media, Twitter, and how we should and shouldn't communicate. Let's go.
And then on top of that, Twitter is not the real world. It's important, but you step outside, you walk down the street, and most people don't even know what's going on Twitter. There's just, we're in it, so you see it, and you pay attention to what people are saying. But I always, if I'm in the center of a controversy, something's going on, I focus like, oh my God, the world, everything's happening here. And then you go outside, nobody knows.
I think Twitter's radioactive. I think that you can stay in it and you'll get sick. That's what I think. But if you just visit briefly and get the fuck out of there and then take care of yourself, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's good for people.
It's the old Ricky Gervais. He's like my favorite comedian of all time. He had a quote. Do you like Ricky Gervais?
Yeah, he's great.
He had he has one about Twitter, someone posts something in a town square. I'm botching his line. It has nothing to do with you, but people run up to it just to complain about it. That's kind of it. It's an echo chamber. It's toxic.
It's also, I think, legitimately bad for mental health to communicate that way. To communicate just through text, and it's almost all of it is aggressive, and almost all of it is insulting, and almost all of it is disparaging of people. The amount of anti or negative tweets versus positive tweets. I mean, I wonder if anybody's done a study of that, like how much negative tweeting versus positive tweeting.
Probably, I would guess, 90%.
It's probably somewhere like that. It's just bad for you. It's bad for you to, if you went to a bar and every time you went to a bar, people were fucking arguing and screaming at each other, you'd be like, fuck this bar.
100%.
This ain't fun. I want to go have a good time. I don't want to be around these people. It's not a normal way for human beings to communicate where they're not looking at each other across a table, having a drink, just looking at each other as another human, appreciating each other as a person, a human being. When you just see text on a screen and you're like, I'm going to fuck this guy up, and you go. And
it's easy to do it.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want. And there's been plenty of times I've seen examples where someone tracks down the commenter, and then the commenter apologizes. Like, oh, I didn't know you'd see it. It's a different mentality when you get to that.
Of course, it's not normal. Humans are supposed to communicate with words in front of each other. That's how we're supposed to. That's how we evolved. That's what we're capable of understanding and appreciating. And when someone's bullshitting you, and when someone's got a secret agenda, you're like, this guy's kind of a creep. You get it. And then you get some people like, I really like talking to that guy, and then you can't wait to talk to him again, and then you kind of have an agreement. When you see each other, you know that he likes you, and you know that you like him, and he's a nice guy, and he knows you're a nice guy, and let me buy you a drink. All right, let's have a drink.
And you never know what you're talking. Twitter, it's like you could be getting worked up on what an 8-year-old says. You have no idea.
Or a bot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. And there's these Macedonian fucking troll farms, so they have thousands and thousands of accounts, and they're just trying to undermine democracy 24 hours a day, and they're literally being state-sponsored to do that. There's that too. And that riles people up. They found out that 19 of the top 20 Christian sites on Facebook were run by troll farms?
No, I didn't know that.
19. So there's 19 out of the top 20 Facebook Christian pages that are not real. All they are is riling up people against whatever it is, Islamic people or gay people or transgender people, whatever it is. They're just trying to get people to argue about shit, getting people angry about shit.
It's really easy to do that, too.
Very easy. So I think the solution is post and ghost. Post shit that you want. Don't read the comments. Get the fuck out of there, and don't engage in back and forth disagreements with people on that.
It's so much easier. I don't, but so much easier said than done. So many people, you preach that. It's hard to do.
It's very hard to do. And also, I have a podcast, so I can actually sit down and talk to people, which most people don't have, right? So you don't have that opportunity to, work things out with someone and try to find out what they really feel and what they believe face-to-face in front of them.
Right.
It's the best way to talk. It's the best way to communicate ideas. And so I don't communicate ideas in a piss-poor way because I think that way sucks. And so if I get to do the best way all the time, which I do, why would I engage in the worst way? Just back and forth with people on Twitter that just want to make you feel bad. Not interested in that.
Do you have any drink?
I caught him in a good position there, eh? Look at that. But I mean, back to what he said about Twitter being radioactive. I think all social media is radioactive, you know? And we should communicate face to face, you know, if possible, and that is the best way. But social media does really provide a lot of exposure to different opinions. And this is what I mean by all social media is radioactive. What he said is right, because if you just hold something that's radioactive and you hold it long enough, it's going to eat through your hand. It's going to make you really sick. You're going to develop all sorts of sores. You're going to die, right? But if you also take something that's radioactive and you put it into a reactor and you listen, I'm going to butcher this. I'm no scientist, okay? I barely understand this stuff. But if you make a nuclear reactor with the thing you have that's radioactive, right, now it becomes something really powerful. And I think that's what you're supposed to do with social media. You know, I don't think that's what they meant for us to do. I think they meant for us to just get at each other and just a bunch of mishmash of just ridiculousness. But if you decide that you're only going to follow people who have positive outlooks, like my feed, for example, my feed consists of people that I know and love, people who are doing physically really hard things, Cameron Haynes, David Goggins, Jocko, Joe Rogan, all those names you can think of, Tim Kennedy, all those guys you can think of. It consists of that. Then it consists of people who are very physically fit and are constantly just posting about fitness, right? So that's all I see. And then I have people who are like artists who do really cool things and different people who have cool intellectual thoughts and stuff like that. Not everything I agree with, because you shouldn't just have things that you agree with. But for the most part, it's what I want to see. If you do that with social media, it actually becomes something that can fuel you. It actually becomes something that you can turn to and get inspired by. It's something where you can build up your admiration, get inspired, and start to actually, you know, emulate and start to move into your own life with these same positive attributes, with the same positive mind state. It really does get you going in a good direction if you so choose. But if you're just randomly like people who follow people that they hate, absolutely, that's the radioactive. That's you reaching into the nuclear reactor and you're just like, oh, what's this thing? That's really bad. Your eyes are going to burn out. You're going to go crazy. People who get on social media just to fight and argue, like, and trust me, I've been one of those people. That's where the radioactiveness comes in. That's where you get sick and you die inside. You know, you really do have to look at your social media as something, your feeds as something that you control, and you have to like look at it and say, what would I want my life to be surrounded with? Who would I want in my life? Who inspires me that I'd want in my life, that I want around me? What type of people would I want around me? And just follow those people. That's it. You know, I follow people who have some conservative values. I follow people who have some liberal values because I feel like I have both. I follow people who do physical fitness. I follow people who do really hard stuff. I follow people who are really smart. I follow people who are artists. Like that's what and a bunch of YouTubers that I respect. That's it. You know, nobody that I absolutely hate. And every time I see them, I get triggered and anxious, and none of that. Stay away from that, because that's what he's talking about when it comes to the fighting and back and forth on Twitter. It's like, how did these people even find each other? I'm telling you, go and check a Twitter fight. You'll see these people are either following the same thing or they follow each other. What are you doing? You know, I'm not saying to live in an echo chamber, but at the same time, it's like, you don't hang around with a bunch of people that you hate. Like, think of it like real life. You don't hang around a bunch of people that you hate and despise and argue with all the time. And if you do, you're a moron, right? Make your life the same type of thing. Like, who do you surround yourself with in life? Good people, people that you love, people that you're inspired by, people that you want to rub off on, people that you want to rub off on you. That's what you should be doing with your social media. So he's right. Twitter is radioactive. Instagram is radioactive. YouTube can be radioactive. But you have to take that radioactive substance and you have to put it inside a reactor. Build a little reactor for your life and make it work for you. You know? All right, I'm out. Peace.